Hi, it's Sue. I'm the face behind Paper Inspirations. Welcome. So normally you would just see these hands, but I am stepping way out of my comfort zone. I'm here to share with you an exciting series that I am starting called Meeting the Makers. So this all stemmed from a sleepless night, couldn't sleep. And I just started thinking about obviously creating who inspires me, why they inspire me. And I thought, I'd like to get to know some more of the people that inspire me, a little bit of their background, whether they've got a formal background in art or have they taught themselves, have they learned from YouTube. Yeah, I just wanted to find out more about them. So that's what we'll be doing in Meeting the Makers. It is, so I've given each person the option, two options. They can either, we can catch up via Zoom, and then I will upload the video to my YouTube channel so you can watch it there. Or if they don't feel comfortable in front of the camera, they can then, I can send them the questions, or I can speak to them on FaceTime or via a phone call and interview them and ask them the questions. And then I will write the blog post. So as I said, I am so excited to get to know some of our fellow creatives, and I'm excited to bring it to you, something a little bit different. So going forward, I'm hoping that I will have one video a week or one blog post. I'm going to try and alternate them just so that the people that don't feel comfortable in front of the camera can tell us their story, and I will put the details down below for my blog. I am really dedicated to supporting fellow creators, whether that's by commenting on their videos, liking. I love to try and purchase handmade items from fellow creatives as my budget allows, sharing people's businesses, and I appreciate everybody that does that for me as well. So I like to share any knowledge that I've got that I think is exciting and that you can probably learn from. And I also love sharing any knowledge that I have learned from other people as well. So we're going to have quite a bit of variety in these interviews. So I have approached not only junk journalists or people in the junk journal community. I have approached people that only journal, that don't make their own journals. I have also approached mixed media artists, embroiderers, slow stitchers, people who crochet. There's going to be a wide range of people, because a lot of the crafts that we do, they can all intermingle. And I mean, if we're all honest, we've all tried many different crafts, arts or crafts in our lifetime. So I'm really hoping that you'll get something out of this. I know that I'm going to. I already am, because I'm putting myself out there, doing something that I'm not comfortable doing normally, and sharing with you. And as I said, hopefully you will be inspired by these amazing creatives that I am going to chat with. So that's what we're up to. I hope you enjoy, and without further ado, I will introduce our first guest. All right, so welcome everybody, and today I wanted to introduce Dave from Dash of Dave on YouTube. So welcome. Nice to have you.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Sue.
That's all right, my pleasure. So Dave and I have known each other for a little while, couple of years, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I happened upon your YouTube. I don't even know how we got talking or anything. Do you remember?
Because I'm amazing. That's how we got.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so Dave is formerly known as the Crafty Moose. Is that correct? Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. So you can find him on YouTube and Instagram, _of_Dave. So I hope I'm not yelling. I'm not used to being in front of the camera, and I feel like I need to be yelling at you since you're based in the UK. So tell me if I am yelling, and I'll turn it down.
You're not yelling. No, you're fine.
Oh, good. All right. So if you haven't seen Dave's YouTube channel, do yourself a favour and head on over. We'll put the details to Dave's channel and his other social media accounts in the description of this video. So lots of fun, lots of laughter involved in any of Dave's videos, let me tell you. So it's a treat.
That's how we got talking, Sue, because I'm a fellow nut. So fallen from the same tree.
Probably. So I do have a few questions in front of me. So if I keep looking down, that's why. And I'll be putting my glasses on and off because I'm blind as a bat and I can't see. So so I'm just going to say a little bit that I know about Dave, and then I'm going to let him fill in some details. So from what I know, Dave works as a corporate services manager for a UK charity. Yeah. So what does that entail, Dave?
All sorts of things. So I kind of look after IT, physical resources. I basically manage anything that isn't a human resource. So from fleet to purchasing to properties, facilities, maintenance, you name it. It's
busy.
Yeah, very busy. Yeah.
And are you on call?
Yes, I do. I'm on call. Most of the time I'm on call. We kind of share it, but there's only me and I've got an assistant, but we share it between us. But she has children, so I feel a bit, uncomfortable saying, "Can you go out at 3 o'clock in the morning and leave your kids, with you?" So
very true.
So it's quite stressful. So
I can imagine. So how do you manage to get all your content for your YouTube channel with, I would imagine you work lots and lots of hours during the week. How do you manage to get your content done?
I basically work on a Venus day, which is there are 247 days in a Venus day. So no, I do my content really around the fact that I relax and I need something to wind down with, and that's when I do the content. So content creation for me is more about me making stuff and helping to soothe my stresses of the day. But as any content creator knows, there's a lot of prep that goes into it. So I tend to find that Sundays is the day that I block out. I'm incommunicado on Sundays. Sorry, don't contact me. I'm not going to.
That's my day. That's my day of filming as well. Yeah, I don't know why, but it works.
I think it sets you in good stead. Well, certainly for me, because it really helps me with my mental health, etc. It really sets me in good stead for moving forward through the week. That's the day where, Saturdays are the routine stuff, the stuff you do, the cleaning, the cooking and all of the stuff, socializing. And then Sundays is my day, helps me to relax, forms a great start for the new week. So
yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So do you find if you don't get your crafting time in that you really struggle mentally with if you don't?
Yeah, absolutely. It's real downtime for me doing craft. It's that time. So in my day job, I have to think and I have to strategize and I have to think forward plan and know what might be coming up and prepare for everything. Whereas craft is just it's a channel. It's like a free flowing river. If you have a crafty outlet and you tap into that, you just let it go. It's like water. It will find its way.
Yeah.
And that's how I use my crafting. So,
I like to say that, so I like my creating is like therapy, and I tend to say it's cheaper than therapy. And then I go, oh, hang on a minute. Who am I kidding? It'd be cheaper to go to therapy. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. We won't
craft is never cheap.
No, that's right. So just another little bit that I found out about Dave. You used to be a TV craft demonstrator. I'd love to know a little bit more about that. You're a natural in front of the camera, so I can imagine it.
Something that's really strange. People say, they only ever see the true me when I'm in front of a camera, because I'm larger than life, and and that is me. That's how I am. But I'm never worried about being in front of a camera. And an opportunity came up. There was a local company who were looking for an ambassador for their brand. They were a new kind of very small company, and they put out an ad, and I just happened to see it. I thought, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Go for it. And I applied for it. I didn't think anything of it. Never even thought I'd get shortlisted, let alone get the position. I got shortlisted. I was a bit, oh no, I have to do
what
something
do I do now?
And part of it was just to do a bit of a quick demo on a video, and they just loved me, so they took me on. And so I did it on like Selly Telly, so one of the craft channels in the UK. So I marketed their products. I only managed to do 2 because the company then decided that they were going to stop selling stuff that wasn't economically viable for them. So, but I really enjoyed it, and it's kind of my 15 minutes of fame, I guess. And it was that. Then lockdown came round, and then all of that stopped anyway. So there were some opportunities for me to do stuff for other people, but that didn't come about because of lockdown. And that's when I thought, well, I love being in front of the camera. Let me do something with this. YouTube is a very big and growing, platform. And I just felt, this is an opportunity. And if you shouldn't let opportunities slide, when you get older, you don't regret the things you didn't do. You don't regret the things you did. You regret the things that you didn't do. Missed opportunities. Don't let them slide. So
life's just short.
Absolutely. It kept me out of trouble as well. So, well,
I don't believe that anyway. So I was just looking through your YouTube channel the other day, and went back and saw that your first video was posted in April of 2019.
Yeah.
So you've been going for about 4 years. Is that right? Yeah, 4 years.
Yeah.
My maths isn't my forte. So it's funny. Do you ever go back and look at your first videos that you did and like to see how far you've come?
I do. And also I think for me, I don't know whether this is going to sound, it might come out wrong, but like I really don't have a problem seeing myself on camera either. So I don't cringe and think, oh no, what did I say? But I look back and I use that opportunity to look back and think, right, okay, that really worked well. Do more of that. That didn't work well, and use it as like a mirror, holding a mirror up to myself and saying, right, okay, this is the stuff I can reflect on. So I didn't, I don't get upset about it. I do think, oh, that was really badly edited, or well, didn't edit, to be fair. And also
good to see how far you've grown.
Absolutely. And I think you have, to some extent, as an artist, you have to. That's another thing that I've started doing, calling myself an artist.
Yeah, good. And so you should.
Yeah, and I think that's about confidence in your work, isn't it? You start off being a crafter, and then as you feel more confident about it, you see yourself as an artist. And I think that's helped through doing YouTube, is being able to look back, doing the reflection stuff, and see my growth, and see my terrible wobbly camera and terrible sound and all of that. It's good growth.
Exactly. And in the intro I said that I came up with this idea when I didn't sleep, one night, couldn't sleep, and was thinking about all the people that have inspired me and the friends I have made since doing YouTube, and I count you as a good friend. And I just thought, I think that this might be a good idea, so that we can meet the makers and get to know a little bit more about them and what makes them tick. So then I had to So I sent out all the emails, and I got a really good response. But then I panicked, and it was a little bit of that, I guess, imposter syndrome, I guess they call it, and thinking, what am I doing? What have I done? I can't do this. So I've got, you'd laugh if you saw it, and I'm not going to show you because I've got a ring light here hanging off my jewelry case, and I've got cords hanging here everywhere. The ring light's hanging off my jewelry case because it was on a stand and I snapped it just before we came online. So there is nothing professional about this, and that's what I love about you, is that you are who you are, and unapologetic. So, and I love that. So, and that's probably what I'm probably trying to do by starting this Meeting the Makers series, is to just be yourself and let everybody see who you are, see who we are, and what we do. So
it's for me, I'm really excited about what you're doing, because like I'm really excited to meet people who you've only seen their hands normally, so
exactly,
you know, all the camera angles of looking down or from one side, and you don't know the person. And I think to some extent it's like when you teach, so that I used to be a teacher as well, so like teaching online is so much different to teaching in person, because you make connections with people in a classroom, and in online you miss that opportunity. And I think this is an exciting opportunity for everybody to meet their favorite crafters, or to meet new people, to be to be exposed to people like me. And also, just so you know, my background is blurred out because it's a horrible mess, because I am a crafter, and there is a place for everything, and everything's on the floor. That's right. My motto.
Exactly. Well, I'm actually in my little journaling nook in my bedroom, so I couldn't do it outside because all the family's home and there's just interruptions, and I just thought that at least it's quiet in here. And I've actually put up a sign on the door. I'm filming. Don't knock unless you're bleeding profusely. So hopefully there will be no knocking on the door. So that's the only reason it's nice and neat here, is because I always keep this little area nice and neat. So, but I'm just having a look here. So I like that you and I were very similar. So we believe in, and I'm taking this from your about on your YouTube, the power of kindness, support and acceptance, and being all inclusive. So I love that about you, and I feel that I'm the same way. I just think there's room for everybody. It doesn't matter color, gender, or anything. It's we all like to craft if it makes us happy and it makes us feel good. So we should just be all inclusive and accepting of that.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. So again, I use a lot of metaphors because I used to teach. I use a lot of metaphors. So we all love sunlight. Everybody loves to have the sunlight, and whether you like being hot or not, you like sunlight. You'd much rather it be a sunny day than a rainy day.
Yeah.
Most people. But sunlight is made up of billions and billions and trillions of molecules of light in all different colors of the spectrum. And it's all about, so the stuff that we enjoy is about diversity, and craft for me is exactly that. The more diversity is, the richer our sector is. So I
agree.
And the same in life. I love people. So
me too, and I love learning more about them. So
absolutely.
Now, having said that, I'll get on to some questions that I have organised here. So I think we've sort of touched on finding out a little bit more about you, but is there anything else that you want to tell us about yourself? We only have an hour, Dave. We only have an hour.
In that case, no. Don't have long enough. No, I'm 53. I'm from the UK, if you hadn't guessed. I'm originally from the Midlands. I now live in Yorkshire. I'm autistic. I'm gay, and I'm bloody amazing.
You are. That's why we're friends. And you've got a gorgeous dog called Worcester. I was a bit disappointed that he wasn't on the screen.
Gorgeous dog called Worcester. I've got a gorgeous friend called Brian, and I've got a gorgeous partner called Vic. So
yeah. Have you got rid of them this morning?
Yeah, well, yeah. Vic said he was going to stay at his house last night because he didn't want to be awake this time in the morning. So like he thinks this is like dawn for him.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
He works in the pub trade, so like, you know, it's
okay.
Yeah,
they work on different time schedule to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Worcester's sleeping in the bedroom, so like on the bed probably.
Is he supposed to be?
When I first got him, it was like absolutely not coming upstairs, and then that all kind of slides, and then they're on the furniture, you know, they're driving a car. Oh no, they're not.
Yeah, they become part of the family, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so who or what inspired you to start creating junk journals? Is there anyone in particular, or?
No, it was. I think when I started doing the selly telly stuff, you get exposed to all sorts of different things, because I was one of the things that when you go and you work, you're in a studio, is you watch other people to see if you can pick up any tips. And I saw a variety of different people doing lots of different crafts, and nobody was really ticking the box for what I thought I enjoyed. So I saw I watched a YouTube video on just I cannot remember who it was by. It was just somebody making stuff from scrap bits of paper. They wouldn't even call themselves a junk journaler. And I thought, oh, I've got loads of scrap paper. I could do that. So I just kind of put something together, and I really enjoyed it. And then I found that it was called something. It was junk journaling, and that's when I kind of fell in that very deep hole, spiraling down and down.
Yeah. And still spiraling.
yeah. And so the thing is, then when you're a junk journaler, you end up can't throw anything away because it's junk, and you need to journal with it.
Get out of control, though, doesn't it? Yeah. So what's your first memory of ever being creative? You know, like going back to even childhood, or?
Oh, that's got to be spending time with my grandma. I can see it now. She used to, I've still got her sewing machine. So I've got a Singer sewing machine with a treadle on it. And you treadle you do that with your feet. And she used to sew, and I used to do the treadling bit for her. So I used to do the hard work. So it was like slave labor, really. She used to do the sewing, and then we used to sit and make, with all the offcuts from the dresses that she made, we used to sit and make little pin cushions from patchwork hexagons. And that was my first memory of crafting, because my mum's a very strong, powerful woman, and she went out to work, and I spent a lot of time with my auntie and my grandma, and I've got 3 older sisters, so they really didn't know how to deal with the boys, so they just dealt with me in the same way. So and that's great, because that gave me an exposure to stuff I probably wouldn't have had otherwise.
Exactly.
So I wasn't interested in climbing trees and, you know, playing in mud. I wanted to, you know, get out and, you know, sew things and make things. And I used to build things. I used to make dioramas. You'd call them dioramas now, but for me, they were just making things miniatures out of bits of old packaging and stuff when I was a child. So, and if it wasn't that, I was playing with Lego again, which is another creative outlet. So I still like Lego now. So
I love Lego. Oh. So much fun. So we've sort of really touched on this already. So in what way does being creative affect your daily life?
It's so good. Honestly, if you're sat on the fence about whether you want to get involved in any creative stuff, do it, because it's such a good freeing outlet. Just especially if your day is very constrained and you have to do, most jobs require you to do something in a very formalized way.
Yeah.
Being creative for me is just that outlet. It's that I've used the analogy of water, and that's what it's like. It finds its own way. As long as you let it flow, it finds its own way. Just sit and try everything. Don't go and buy everything, but try everything. Because a lot of crafters go, oh, I like the idea of that, and they buy the whole kit of that one thing and do it once and never do it again. And I've been there, and I'm sure you have.
Yeah, been there, done that. Probably still do that on occasion.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So, but go and try lots of different things. Go to creativity workshops and try something out and see what you like, because I absolutely believe there's creativity in absolutely everyone. You just haven't necessarily found your clam.
Yeah. So what other crafts have you done other than junk journaling?
I've tried painting. No painting for me. I do digital, so I make digital art, which I can digitally create.
Yeah,
thank you. So that's very kind of you.
Down in the description box as well for everybody to head over and have a look. So check out those digitals. I used to make cards. I've made dioramas. I still like making dioramas, and I have thought about maybe tapping back into that, because Nick the Booksmith has been doing a lot of stuff on dioramas, and I really like that. She is, absolutely. Yeah, she is, like, one of the crafty gods, a bit like yourself, so. Oh, whatever.
And so I did make cards for a long time, but they never really ticked a box for me. I always felt like that was just an outlet to be able to be creative. And then I started making box cards, so 3D exploding cards and that sort of thing, which ended up having lots of dioramas inside. So, and I went back down the diorama route. So I've tried a few different things. At school I tried pottery.
No.
Don't want me. No, my everything I made exploded in the kiln. So.
Oh no.
So I'm not there's no ghost scene in my future at any point. No.
So I noticed lately you've been doing a little bit of play with resin.
Yeah, that's a new thing. That's that one of those. Oh, I've got to try that. I think that's because I've always liked the sciencey kind of things as well. I like science and that exploratory brain that I have. And I was a bit fascinated. I couldn't believe that you could buy resin that just sets like that.
Yeah, it's
because
amazing.
Normally you buy resin and it's 2 parts. I'm a bit scared of anything you have to mix with 2 parts.
Yeah.
Because I always think, if I get that wrong, is it going to blow up, or is it going to stick to my hands and I'm never going to be able to get it off?
Yeah.
I can't use super glue for that reason, in case like my fingers get stuck together and I have to stay like that forever.
Well, you don't actually stay like that forever, because I can tell you a story. I decided one time I was going to do my own acrylic nails and glued the tips on with super glue and ended up with fingers like this. So I had to get a blade and cut them apart.
Oh no.
I didn't cut myself though, but needless to say, I didn't ever do acrylic nails again.
No. Good.
A bit like pottery, it's not for me.
So the resin thing is just that kind of that play. And also there are things that I do in dioramas that it kind of fits the bill for, because you can have very flat glass-like structures that set instantly, and it's that creative mind for me. So and you can kind of fuse it into the other things, the junk journaling stuff that you do as well.
It's amazing, isn't it? The how there's so many different arts and crafts that can be incorporated into junk journals. I call my journals probably glorified junk journals, because I don't tend to use a lot of junk, but I still do use a lot of things that I probably would have once thrown out. So for me, they are junk journals. So I love seeing some of the artists that can use junk and it just looks amazing. It all just flows. I try and do that, and it's just a huge mess. Just doesn't work for me. I like a little more structure, I think. But I certainly appreciate, people using junk. It looks amazing. Do you have a certain process when you're creating a new journal? Is there any factors that you consider when you're starting a new journal?
It's funny. I read because Sue showed me the questions before, just in case there was anything that scared me, and there wasn't, to be fair. When I saw that question, it was really funny because I'd never really thought about the process until that question was asked of me, and I've realised that I do my junk journal making in reverse order. So I tend to make a journal that fits the ephemera that I've made. So most people would make a journal and make ephemera to go in it. And I make ephemera and then make a journal that will fit that ephemera. And I think that's because of doing the YouTube stuff we tend to make a lot of stuff. We make and make and make. And so you make an example. I usually make a prototype, then I'll make an example, because I don't want to show people the prototype because it's usually terrible, but it has a foundation there. So I'll make a prototype, a sample, and then I'll make on camera, and sometimes I'll make a second one on camera, and then you end up with 4 of them for every video that you do. So then you end up with, so it's not just the stuff that you buy to create with, you've got all the stuff that you've created that then you have to find places for. So I like then taking that stuff and saying, okay, these things go together. What do I need to make to be able to hold that? And I guess that's that.
That's really interesting. That's interesting because I tend to, well, obviously, that I do content as well, and I just tend to forget that I've made all those tags and things, and I've just got them everywhere. But I've never thought of it in that sense to make a journal to fit, although most of the things that I make are nature and botanical themed anyway. But I like that idea though.
It's just that for me, I think that for me, that's my brain can be quite logical at times, so it's that logical process. I've made all of these things, what am I going to do with it? Let's make a journal for them to fit into, and that way then I'm not trying to house a journal with a whole load of ephemera and a whole load of ephemera that doesn't have it anywhere. I've got I've just got lots of journals with lots of stuff stuffed in it now, so
as we all do. Have you noticed any particular themes or trends recently in our junk journaling community that you'd like to try? Anything in particular? I watch so much videos. I don't know about yourself, Sue, but I don't get to sleep very easily. So I'll tend to watch things to try and help me sleep. So I'll watch a whole load of things. So I see a lot of things, but there's nothing that I would say other than dioramas. I feel like I'm being drawn back towards a diorama side of things. Other than doing dioramas, there's nothing that's really saying to me, I need to do that. But I'm pulling in lots of different elements from lots of different places. That's really altering the course of my river, because there's things that I've been exposed to, and there's new ideas, and I don't take it literally either. So for instance, yourself, you were making some, I think they were fabric tags, and I felt really inspired by it. I went off, I created, and because I was so inspired, I created something that if I showed you had no relevance to what you were making, but it's because I felt so inspired. And because you'd done something where I thought, I'd never even thought of doing that, it made my brain open to trying things that I'd never thought of putting together.
So
good. Well, my
just
job's
the way that you
will
put
go now.
absolutely, absolutely. You're called paper inspirations for a reason, Sue.
No, but that's what I love is that there is so many creators out there that we can all draw from, and like even on Pinterest, you can go and just if you've got no inspiration, you can go on and have a look at an image of something and you think, I'm going to do that, and you start and it ends up being completely different, absolutely nothing like what you looked at, but it was actually just sparked an idea and you run with it. So I just love that we can do that. We've got all that at our fingertips now. It's amazing.
And I think that's the other thing you've touched on. So they're my two channels are Pinterest. So that my two go-to channels before bed are Pinterest and YouTube, and I'll always go to those and find ideas, and then I have to write them down because by the time I wake up in the morning I've forgotten them.
At least you write them down. I just don't go to sleep then. I just have all these ideas running around in my head. So maybe I need to get a notebook for beside the bed. Sounds like a plan. Do you have any unique features that you include in all of your journals? Is there something that you do in every journal that you make apart from putting a cover on it?
Something I do that's, I don't know whether it's unique to me, but it's something that I've learned to do is leave it unfinished. So I always leave my journals unfinished. By that, I mean, there'll be a page in there that I think should have something on it, but I've not put something on it, or there'll be a section in it, or there'll be a bit of unfinished decorating or embellishment. And that's a really healthy way to step back from something. Otherwise, if you try and finish something, you'll be at it forever because you're constantly trying to, perfect the object. And it works in my job as well. So I have to step back from some things and say, I'm never going to reach a level of perfection that I want. So I'm just going to have to say, it'll do.
Yeah. And I like that. I like that because I think, myself included, junk journaling has been amazing for me because I've liked everything perfect and structured, and I still do in a way, but I don't care if my sewing's crooked anymore. I don't care if, once upon a time I couldn't put a white page in a journal, or I had to coffee dye it or stencil it. I don't care anymore. It's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a junk journal,
Absolutely.
and you make it your own. And I love that. I love that you said that, you need to learn when to stop and step back.
And that's, I mean, we are very similar creatures, and I think that's why we get on, Sue, because I do like perfection. I like things to be finished, completed, done, but it's not good for your mental health to seek perfection in something that isn't. What is perfection? Your idea of perfection and my idea of perfection are two different things. So stepping back from something and saying, I'm never going to reach the level that I want to achieve. That's why most, painters, great artists have painted over all of their work loads of times, because they're trying to seek perfection. Stepping back from it and saying it's never going to be perfect is just so healthy for you.
Yeah. I love that. Thanks for that. Now, would you say that you have a certain style?
Definitely. It's I mean, I found my niche now, which is, I would say it's utilitarian. No, I can't. I won't say it's utilitarian because I can't say it.
Yeah.
It's utilitarian, I would say. I really like that look of the old, like you found it in an old office, or
I love it. And I love
filed
Margot.
away.
Yeah, I love what you're doing with
Margot.
Margot.
Margot's my family, so like.
So good.
Having that I've created this character called Margot, and just building stuff around her life. That's a creative narrative I'd never touched on before. So
it's like writing a story, isn't it?
And it is. And something, I always say that I don't feel I'm very creative. And Brian, and I'm sure you've told me before that you think I am, but like I don't see it as being creativity. I like making things look like stuff, like look like old stuff you'd find
Yeah.
somewhere, and that's what I really love. But I've started to feel I'm getting more creative because I've built this character and a backstory and her life and where she's going, and I've got ideas for future videos because of Margot. So,
and I think that it's going back to what you said earlier on as well, is that if you're, just sitting at your desk and just playing, it doesn't matter, even if it's just gluing scraps onto cardstock or something, you know, the more you do it, and I know, and I'm a bad one for that. I get really frustrated when I lose my inspiration, and I get all panicky and I think I'm never going to get it back, and that's the end of my crafting days and, all the rest of it. So instead, what I need to be doing is taking your word and just sit at my desk, even if it means just gluing scraps onto cardstock. It doesn't matter if it becomes nothing. It's actually you're just doing something and getting into that practice, isn't it? Doing that every day.
Absolutely. Never be afraid of that, the blank space. Just do stuff, if, like you say, even if it's just gluing pieces together, or or revisiting old pieces of work, or sometimes just tidying my desk. I mean, we're
do you tidy your desk, really?
Well, I do kind of push it away, so
like push it to the side.
make a space for the camera so you can't see it. But when I do some tidying, I find things that I haven't seen for ages, and tidying for me takes absolutely ages, because I don't just tidy up. I go, oh, this, and I want to play with that there and then. And so you can't, and that's good for you as well, because you revisit things you've lost or misplaced, or didn't know you'd got, or forgot you'd bought, or and just revisiting those things helps you to think, oh, no. And that could just bring your creativity back. So when you are feeling that complete void, you're having a dry season, just tidy up, because that'll make you find something and go, oh, I haven't used this for ages.
Spark something. Yeah, that's great. So we've probably touched on this really, but I've just got a question here. Do you have any tips and tricks for fellow creatives that might help them on their journey, their creative journey?
So if you're new to it, don't go and buy everything. Go and try things out. If you know people that craft, go and spend some time with them, and or if you know me, come. I have 2 desks in my room, because my creative space is about me and being social. So I have somewhere for somebody else to sit. So come and spend some time with me, and try the stuff that I've got before you go and buy it and invest in it, because you'll end up spending money on stuff that we could have spent on the thing that you really found that you love. But if you're a seasoned crafter, then just don't be afraid to make. Don't be afraid to make it and think, I don't want anybody to ever see that, because it doesn't matter. They don't have to see it. And don't set out with an objective of what you want to complete. Set out of an objective that you want to enjoy the journey. So if you go on holiday, yes, you want to get to your destination, but you're also enjoying the journey. So do that. Enjoy the journey. I know it's a cliche, but enjoy the journey and just do something. Don't set out with an objective, because that will just muddy your mind.
Exactly. Always say, have fun. It's not about being stressed. If it stresses you out, you shouldn't be doing it. Have fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How do you strike a balance with your journals between functionality and aesthetics, or in any of your creations, not just journals? Or do you just create because you love it and it makes you happy?
I just create because I love it. I want to. For me, it doesn't have to be aesthetically pleasing to anybody. It doesn't even have to be aesthetically pleasing to me. It has to be about the process I've gone through to get there. We just need to be a bit freer about ourselves. At the end of the day, nothing is finished. there's never, I'm not a complete human being, I'll never be a complete human being until the day I die, and I'm not being morbid by that. I'm just saying that, you're not complete. You're a work in progress.
Well, you always
and
learn.
everything you do is work in progress. So for me, it's about, you might make what you think is a monstrosity and you put it to one side, but you might come back to it in a couple of weeks, pick it back up again and love it, because your mind is in a different, you're seeing it from a different perspective. Your mind's thinking differently. You're feeling better about yourself, or, the world's, your oyster rather than your whelk. So, it's, for me, it's, don't worry about the whole, this is certainly me. I'm not at all bothered about aesthetics. It's the process for me. So
yeah, oh, that's good. So how do you engage with your community of creatives, and how has this influenced your body of work, if it has influenced it at all?
So mainly through YouTube is my channel. I do have an Instagram. I don't have a huge amount of followers on Instagram, to be fair. I've tried TikTok. Really, no, TikTok's not for me. I'm too old for TikTok.
I haven't even been on it. I'm older than you, and it's not for me either.
Not much, Sue.
Fair bit.
And I do have a Facebook page that I kind of interact through, but I try to engage my audience by, I don't know, I want less people to talk to me and more people to do. So don't spend, I know it's counterintuitive, because yes, I want my channel to grow and I want to be able to reach more people, because I think I've got a kind word to say that I think the world needs to hear, and I think there needs to be more kindness. And I know that sounds very big-headed, but I think that's, when you've got love in your heart, you want to share it with everybody. And I get kind of a bit emotional now, because I do genuinely believe in everybody. I believe everybody has the power. And I want, yes, I want you to like my videos, because we all want you to like the videos. In fact, now is a great opportunity to like this video for Sue. So, and we want you to subscribe, so do that as well. But we all want that from people, but I would rather people be telling me what they've made or what they've done as a result of something that they've watched from me. And at the moment, I know this sounds bad, but I don't have a great amount of time to be able to manage a social media network and that sort of thing. I do a lot of social media for my own work in my day job as well. So when you get home, you're like a bit jaded by social media. So
that's fair enough.
I think the less time we spend scrolling through social media, the more time we have to actually physically make.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. I totally agree. Do you have a memorable experience or story shared by one of your customers or one of your subscribers regarding their journaling? So touching on something that they've done after being inspired by yourself. So has someone shared a memorable experience with you about their creative journey?
Because I used to teach, I've got a few people who I've kept in touch with, who I've inspired through my teaching. I used to teach people employability skills and motivational stuff, to kind of build them in character, whether it was to go off and get a new job or get a promotion or whatever. And I've kept in touch with some of those people that I've really kind of changed they say I've changed their life, and I just say all I did was I just released what was inside you. I haven't done anything. All I did was just open the door for you. But Ash, so Ashley Waterhouse, she's recently been in touch with me, because she was excited to tell me she started doing crafting as a result of the stuff that I've, I've been showing her. She also knows a crafty friend, so she's been watching my videos and getting into the junk journaling thing. And it's so, I feel like one of my, children has grown, and like it's so I feel so emotional by it, because like it's nice when you see people grow and they find that creativity in themselves. And I don't claim to be the source of that creativity. I'm just so glad that somebody's found it, because I know how freeing it is for me to have that. And how, if I didn't have this, what would I have? I'd probably be whiling my time away watching TV, which is not productive. At least I'm making stuff, and this is treasures. These are all my treasures. The problem is, unless, if something happens to me, unless Brian finds it, then other people are going to come in and go, what the heck we're going to do with all of this rubbish?
But I guess
it's a treasure to me.
Won't know about it though, so you don't have to worry about it.
So at least now I'm going to leave all my worldly goods, which is my craft stuff, to either Brian or Ashley. So like,
Well, there you go. At least you can enjoy it now, and that's all that matters. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Dave, where do you find your inspiration? How do you stay motivated? We have touched on this a little bit. How do you stay motivated to create new and unique products?
I give myself time every evening to go through and look at some YouTube videos, to watch a few things, to look at Pinterest. And I use that, and I think of that in a business sense as well. So I think I am looking at this for research. Yeah. Not so that I can replicate exactly what people have made, but so that I can get inspiration. So I can go to bed inspired, dream about gluing and sticking and cutting and all sorts of things. But I find, so my inspiration comes from, there's some very select people that I follow. So yourself, and I'm not buttering you up here. I genuinely find you very inspiring. And I like the way that you talk to people. You talk in a very kind way. You can hear the kindness in your voice. You can hear the passion as well, that you want to do things, but you can also hear that you're a human being, because you can be, hard on yourself at times. And that's about being a human being. We're not perfect.
No.
I like Nick the Booksmith, because she is perfection. Like, how is her desk so clean?
I love her. Yeah, she's amazing.
Her desk is so clean. Everything is so tidy. It's also, but she's funny as well, and she's kindly, and that's what it is for me. Is not necessarily making things directly because of somebody. It's just being inspired by, it's okay to be kind. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be you. So
I love that. I think I've touched on this as well. I've got a question here. We all lose our mojo at some point or other. I find it quite frightening, because I think as a content creator, we tend to, I guess it's burnout, I guess, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
I sort of, if I ever get to that, I think I'm never going to get it back. And we have talked about this, but is there anything other than just sitting and doing that you do in particular that helps you get back into creating again?
Basically giving myself a lecture. So talking to myself and saying, just because you've eaten a meal, you've overeaten, you're full now, and you can't think of eating again, doesn't mean to say you'll never eat. And that's what crafting's like. Just because you've burnt yourself out by doing stuff, and for content creators, where we have to have regular schedules, otherwise you start to lose people, and you need that. And so you're working at the rock face all the time. So but stepping back and just saying, look, if I don't release a video today and I release it tomorrow, is it going to make a massive difference? No. So, but tomorrow I might be hungry. Today I'm not.
Yes.
So
I think that we can get caught up in that, can't we? Well, I have to create, but that's when all the fun goes out of it.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Going back to what we said earlier, it has to be fun. If it becomes stressful, we shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I already know the answer to this one. Where do you create, and do you have a dedicated space?
I do. So I moved into this house. I bought a house in 2015. I used to have a spare room. I don't have a spare room anymore. Slowly my crafting started to take over, to the point where the bed got taken out of it, sold the bed, so nobody can come and stay. So well, you can come and craft, but you can't come and stay.
Yeah.
It started off with one desk and a little bit around me, and now it's taken over the whole thing. And it's supposed to be big enough for a double bed. I don't know how I ever got a double bed in here, but I've got everything everywhere. I've got floor to ceiling bookshelves here, same behind me, a wall full of tools on this side, a window in front of me, but you can't see the window because there's a window ledge with stuff piled on it. And I have a room. I even had to take the door off because I couldn't open the door because there was so much stuff in the way. So I have a craft space. I'd love to say this is where the craft starts and ends, but it doesn't. It spills out into the hallway behind me. There's bits in the bedroom, downstairs in the living room.
Shows you're a true crafter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And when it's your house and you don't have to live with other people, you don't have to accommodate them, so therefore it just goes everywhere.
Yeah, good on you. That's great. I live with other people, but my craft's probably not in every room anyway, so I just have to deal with it.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, they know you, they love you, and that's part of you, isn't it? So
exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I'm not very nice to be around if I'm not being able to create. So they've learned that over the years. So that's good.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite technique or a favorite tool that you like to use?
Well, I'm really loving the UV stuff at the moment. I'm really loving using that. But I one of the things I go back to all the time is my sewing machine. So I use my sewing machine for, making I most recently made myself a little pencil case. Wow. I'm like kind of pointing there because it's there. Made myself a little pencil case.
Can you reach it? And show us? Yes, come on. Don't be shy.
No, I can't. I don't know where it is. So I'll show it to you afterwards. But I might send you a picture of it. But I made myself a little pencil case, and I thought about possibly making it for Margot, and it started off to make something for me because I just wanted somewhere to put my various things that I can never find on my desk.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I maybe could do this for Margot. So it might be something that turns into something else. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that was, so I guess my tool is, there are several tools. My UV, typical crafter, I can't pick one. My UV stuff, I'm really loving that. My sewing machine, and I've got to say, I really love my Cricut. Now, I bought a Brother Scan and Cut a long time ago, and I loved it. But then when I got a Cricut, that was it. I really love the Cricut.
What Cricut have you got?
I've got a Cricut Explore Air 2. I really want a maker.
I guess
have you got a maker?
Mum just bought me one for my birthday.
Oh wow, cool. Well done, Mum.
I'm only
great
just
gift.
learning. What was that?
I said, well done, Mum. Great gift.
I know. Amazing. I actually had her using it today, doing a few things for me. So I've still got a lot to learn on it. But it's exciting.
Oh, it is. It's lovely.
I'll have to get some tips from you.
Oh, I love making stuff. That's my. I don't tend to make it on camera. That tends to be my little outlet. I make a lot of 3D things or box cards or
Yeah.
like shadow boxes. So you have layers of paper and you have a light behind and it shows through. So I make a few of those. And
so where do you get most of your what do you call them? I don't even know what your files. Where do you get them from? Do you get them
the
from
SVGs? Either buying through Etsy or lots of free places. There's a place called Dreaming Tree that do lots of SVG files that you can make lots of.
So that's what I got to look for, SVG files.
Yeah, SVG files.
I didn't even know that.
I'll send you some links, Sue.
I'll
send you some links to places. Yeah.
Right. We've got a lot to talk about now. Not that we didn't before. We always find something to talk about, don't we? Have you faced any challenges with regards to your creative journey?
For me, because I'm autistic, I have so sometimes the whole world overwhelms me, and that can be a real challenge for me. So it can cause blocks, not just in my creativity, but my ability to work or to think, good thoughts about myself. So I think, and it although it's not a mental health condition, it does affect your mental health because of the way you see yourself. Because I'm very self-aware. So unlike most autistic people who, I'm not dissing anybody who is autistic, but lots of autistic people might cause a ruckus and upset lots of people, but they don't realize it in themselves. Whereas because I'm self-aware, I realize it and then I beat myself up about it, which causes then more issues. So the autism can be a bit of a block in everything. There are some times when I just have to curl up and, shut the world out.
Yeah.
But generally I found that I think for me in the crafting world, I found being a man is not an advantage. So, which is great. I'm glad there's a strong female community, because I've always empowered women, because I come from a very female dominated, family. My mum was the one that went out to work and was the breadwinner. My mum was the one that loved football and sport, and me and my dad didn't have any interest in any of that. And so I'm all for strong women, but also I am very much about like the diversity of things. And I think being a man, sometimes I think you can get discounted, because like, how can men be creative? But I tell you now, your husband, your partner, your lover, whatever, it probably is creative. They just haven't found their creative outlet.
Oh, I think we've all got a creative bone in our body, somewhere.
Even if it's telling jokes or whatever, it's creativity, isn't it?
Exactly. And I mean, it's a shame that, because I know there's a lot of people out there that think that there's not a place for men in let's just say the junk journaling community or the crafting community. And I disagree. I really disagree. I think that, yourself, for one, you've got so much to give, and your videos are amazing, and they're so much fun, and you have fun. You can see how much fun you have creating. There's so many. I mean, without stating the obvious, Tim Holtz and Kerry the Crafter, and
absolutely.
Ralph Tyndall and Joey the card maker, and there's so many males that are so creative and that can offer so much. So I think good on you for sticking with it and doing what you do. I'm really grateful for that. So, and I'm
grateful for you too.
Once again, I'll plug Dave's channel, so head on over and check it out. I'll put all the details down below. So do you have any future goals with regards to your creating with your creative journey?
I'd like this to become more of my day job. My day job is very stressful, and it takes up a huge amount of time because I'm on call. That doesn't help. I'd like to be able to step back, and I'll never not work. I've said this: if I won the lottery, I'd still have to work. I have to be active. I have to be doing stuff. But but I'd like this to be a bigger part of my working life as well as my personal life. So I'd like to go, to be at the point where I can, drop down, maybe 4 hours a week at work and pick those 4 hours up in this. But we need to be able to have, to be able to monetize, you need to tick certain boxes, and to be able to, get your Amazon storefront, you need to have a certain number of followers. So that you need to be able to show growth in order to be able to do those kind of things.
Yeah, and I guess that's, working full time, and well, more than full time, which is what you do, makes it that little harder to get there. But I have every confidence that you'll get there. I really do. So, I think, no, we've done that question. I think I've typed that down twice. We won't ask that one again. So we're nearly at the catch up. I've really enjoyed. I was really nervous. Oh, is that Worcester?
Worcester's here. Can you get up?
I can see a tail wagging, but that's all.
Yeah, it's a tail.
I've really enjoyed the catch up. We were both really nervous before we started, so I think we've done really well. But we had a bit of an advantage because we have chatted before. So
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you wanted to let everybody know about yourself, or any tips and tricks you'd like to share before we?
I've written you a couple of. I'm going to send you over in text form. I've written you a couple of limericks.
Yes.
About you.
I love your. Oh my God.
I will send them to you. I was going to read them out to you, but I'm feeling a bit too nervous to do that, so I won't. And I'll send them over to you. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I've got something for you. So you might want to put it in the description and let other people read it if you like them. So obviously,
I'm sure I will. You've written something for me before and all, and I've loved them. So, so we might. Actually, before we go, so I'm hoping that I will get this catch up on my YouTube channel on the 3rd of August, which is Thursday coming up.
The day before my birthday, Sue. Before my birthday.
Stop it. I was going to say the day before your birthday. So I'd like to wish you a happy birthday for tomorrow. That's if this video goes up. Don't hold me to that though, but have a really amazing birthday. Have you got any plans?
Thank you. Well, it's my birthday on the Friday, the 4th, and it's Vic's birthday on Monday the 7th. So we're going to go to the Donkey Sanctuary.
To the Donkey Sanctuary.
Yeah, we both love donkeys. We get very excited with donkeys.
It sounds nice.
They're so cute, donkeys. They always look really forlorn, but they're so cute. So, so yeah, we're going to go to the Donkey Sanctuary, and then I'm off for 2 weeks from today. So it's the 28th, I think, of July that we're filming this, or 29th. I can't remember.
28th. Oh, hang on, no, 28th. No, it's the 29th. Yeah. I don't know. It's the 29th.
Don't ask us. we
have no idea what we're doing.
So we're both off for 2 weeks, so we're going to go and do some out and about stuff, play some Pokemon Go, because that's my other downtime recreational thing.
Oh, good on you. Excellent. Well, you enjoy your break.
Thank you. Thanks, Sue.
So one thing before we go, do you have a favourite quote or affirmation that you'd like to share with us?
So it's a footer that I have on my email at work, which is normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow. So normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow. So if you just do the normal stuff in life, it'll be really easy to do, but you never see the beauty. You need to do something different to see beauty and to see the world. So you need to walk off the beaten track.
Comfort zone.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, just like today. Yeah,
I know.
do a video with Sue. That'll get you out your comfort zone.
Well,
So
thank
I'm
you.
really looking forward to who's next and this
Yeah.
upcoming series. I'm really excited by this.
Oh, good. We've got some really exciting people, and quite a few Aussies, which is really good because, predominantly I think a lot of the creators are international to us. So I found some really inspiring Aussies. So might be some new people there that you haven't heard of before. So, but once again, thank you so much, Dave, for giving your time today. Really appreciate it. Really enjoy spending time with you. And have an amazing birthday and an amazing holiday. And we'll catch up soon.
We will. All right.
All right.
Thanks so much. Have a lovely day.
Bye.
Bye.